Hello, hello, hello. Good day and welcome to Lunchtime with Dr. Nadine and my special guest, Marleen Greenleaf.
Hi.
We are so excited, Marleen, to have you here with us at lunchtime. We know that we have ladies joining us from all over the world. If you care to, you can drop in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from. I hope you have your drink. Marleen, I have my sorrel. Hello.
Well, mine's is just water, but it's still a drink.
Awesome. So happy to have you with us.
And what I like in my cup, it says simply irresistible. Oh, what can I? Oh, there we go.
Awesome. So you're having simply irresistible water.
Water, yes.
Actually, it's the best beverage, but I just love me sorrel, you know. So
I know your story with that sorrel once you made it.
Girl. So yeah. So Marleen, we're so excited to have you. We have folks joining us from St. Martin, from Colorado. We have Felicia joining us. She's doing the Runway to Sub program, and she's saying that I told my girls to attend or to watch the reviews. I think we need to share this event with as many women as possible. This elevates and empowers us all. Thank you, Felicia.
Absolutely.
Look forward to the day when we have you here. Today, Marleen, it's about you. We have Leslie joining us also from Trinidad. Somebody said, I would like to get my sorrel, but I can't get up. Oh, come on now. Come on now. So, Marleen, I had the honor of working with you in the speaker mentorship program. I do not want to say too much yet, but I want you to just introduce yourself to our viewing audience of ladies all over the world. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am Marleen Greenleaf, originally from Trinidad, born and raised in Trinidad, moved to the United States over 30 years ago. And I have been... I believe the way I like to put it, I have been searching to find myself, to find who I am. And it's been a journey. It's not a journey that I want to say that I'm going to take anything away from, because every step has brought me to the place where I am here, to the point where I've met you, and you have helped me to move forward in this journey. So I'm taking nothing back. I appreciate all the knocks I've had and the challenges that I've had to bring me to this place of power where I am powerful Marleen Greenleaf. I'm an administrator. I currently work for a nonprofit organization, but I am also an empowerment coach, thanks to Dr. Nadine, who has helped me to pull that out of myself. So I'm excited to share my journey with everyone else.
Yes, it's such a pleasure, Marleen. I just want to let you viewers know something about Marleen. Marleen might knock me up after this, but I've always told her this. And I will say to you, ladies, I have never met a person who is so qualified, overqualified in so many different areas. When I met Marleen, in fact, we met years ago, but when we began to work together, I found out a little secret about Marleen, that Marleen was just collecting certificates. She wasn't paying for them. She was working for them. So she was just qualifying herself there and qualifying herself here. And she was just doing so much. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And so part of the journey that we had to go on was for Marleen to begin to cut back on. And I'm proud to say she has done that. But Marleen, let's talk about where you were before we began working together. What was happening? You can let us know what was going on in your mind. What would make you just invest so much of your time and money in just qualifying yourself and still not feeling that you're qualified enough?
Well, see, that was my challenge. I grew up, in the islands with my family, and it was a dysfunctional family. But of course, we didn't know that growing up. We just thought that we were normal. Our parents would fight, and we didn't have that open love and affection for people. We saw it on television and we didn't understand it. It's like, how come we don't have that? But that stayed with me. And as I grew up, I tried in every which way to fit in and be like everyone else. And it just wasn't working for me. I
Mhm.
always, every situation I got into, I always needed someone to come pull me out. And I just
Mhm.
assumed that if I just got qualified for what in whatever area I possibly can,
Mhm.
then I will find my power and I will be who I need to be. And I don't need anyone else to help me
Mhm.
on this journey because I've got this. But it never materialized. So
Mhm.
I just kept going after one certification after another. And people appreciated me. I know I'm a workaholic and I I do really good work and I get appreciated for it. And I just keep going because I'm never satisfied. It's like, I need to get the certification so I can get to this next level. And then I get to that next level and I'm like, I need something else because this is not enough for me. So I
Mhm.
just keep going and keep going and going, getting certifications, like you said, and I'm just putting them to the side.
Mhm.
And because I'm not fulfilled, there's something in me that's not fulfilled. Because I just feel that the only way I can be myself, where people can really see me for who
Mhm.
I am, is if I have all these certifications, which is
Mhm.
far from the truth. And it
Mhm.
took me, having when my mom passed away after being in, so many dysfunctional relationships, I realized, was my person that I would go to in all of my challenges. And she's
Mhm.
the one that would pray with me and will
Mhm.
help me through the situation. And when I lost her in 2016, I realized I had no one to go to. How
Mhm.
am I going to make it now?
Mhm.
And that was like an aha moment for me, but I was still I'm like, I don't know what to do. How do I move on from this?
Mhm.
And the relationship that I was in at the time, this is my third marriage, by the way. I said, you know what? I need to remove myself from this because this is not working for me, which I
Mhm.
did, but I still was not satisfied. I just felt like this was not the right thing to do. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give this another shot, which I tried, but it didn't work. And then as I'm again at work, I was like, okay, I need another certification. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to go get a doctorate degree.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to go get my doctorate in leadership. And that's where I am now. And it's still not enough
Mhm.
until I got to this breaking point and I said, God, I need you to help me find myself. I need you to get me out of this powerless situation that I keep putting myself in because I don't have my mom who always got my back. I said, but I need you to help me. And then I met Dr. Nadine on a professional level because, like you said, we knew each other personally through Facebook. But then I came to you and you introduced me to your class. And I told you personally, if I just need some clarity, I need to know where to go. Why do I keep stumbling? What is
Mhm.
my challenge? Share this after all these years. And like you said, all the knowledge and experience, because not just paper, I have the experience to go with it, the hands on experience, but I'm still not where I need to be. So we
Mhm.
had our clarity sessions and you brought me to where I am today.
Molly, I'm listening to you, and I'm not even sure if there's a feedback. I'm getting feedback, which is really weird. Ooh la la. Let me get out and hello. Awesome.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. So I'm not sure what's happening there because I have no other screens open. But anyways, thank God it's clear now. So
Okay.
thing is, you mentioned some really key elements for women because there you were doing certification after certification, highly educated woman, highly experienced woman, but inside you were not feeling as if you were enough. Inside you felt powerless and you were looking for all of these external validations, in a sense, and qualifications to make you feel as if you were enough. And I believe that a lot of women, they may not have half of the certifications that you have, or probably even quarter of it. And they may be, experienced and really brilliant in other areas. And they go through that very same thing because like I said to you when we began to work together, and I remember you gave yourself the gift of enrolling in my speaker mentorship program. And we're
Yeah.
like, one of the first things that we need to do is to get you kind of weaned off from certifications because it was almost like a drug, almost like an addiction. And
It
we have
is.
worked through getting you past this idea that I need another certificate. I need to have more certification. And we worked through that process because we realized that you were more than enough.
Yeah.
Another thing that you mentioned was about your power. You mentioned in your story, and as I worked with you one on one, I would have known the personal details of all of that about you always needing somebody to get you out of a situation because you always felt powerless. You never thought that you had that power to be able to help yourself out of it. And I
Yes.
think that's another place where a lot of women are. And as we work together in the speaker mentorship program, and we dug into your story because we were trying to find why is it somebody had to take you out of there, even though you were educated and even though you were an empowered woman in many ways, educated and all of these things, and yet felt so powerless to be able to get out of your story. And now we have you in the speaker mentorship program getting ready to share your story. What was that journey like for you? From feeling okay, I'm not enough, even though you overqualified, you must be qualified than more than half of the women in the world or even more, and then still feeling that powerless way. What was the journey like for you as we worked together?
Well, because I came to you, when I came to you, I don't want to say I was broken, but I was just tired. I
Mhm.
was truly tired with this vicious cycle that I put myself in. And I just didn't know how to get out. And I just had to admit to myself that I don't know how to stop this. And
Yeah.
I believe when we first started, I shared that with you. It's like, I don't know how to stop this. I need clarity as to where I need to go, because that's
Mhm.
another thing with me. I must have clarity. I need a path. I am that organizational person that everything has to be put in place. But that's how I operate. And I know that's not with everyone else, but that's how I operate. I need structure. And I
Yeah.
didn't have that structure, especially
Mhm.
like I said, with my one main foundation being gone now. It's like I have to do this on my own. And I
Mhm.
didn't realize the power I had, the influence my mom had over me as far as me making decisions. And
Mhm.
I, in turn, without realizing that, pass that on to my children because
Mhm.
I am the worst enabler. Anything they need that they can't handle. Look, I'll take care of this. Don't you worry. I'll get this done for you. Look, we're good. You got this. And that is so wrong. So
Mhm.
I enable my children. I enable my relationships, personal and professional. I
Mhm.
am that enabler. And that is what you brought out to me to make me realize that that is where I am losing my power, because I think by being an enabler makes me powerful, when in fact it was the opposite. It made me powerless. So
Mhm.
we had to work through that. And when I finally got to the point where you told me I need to go ahead and get my story together and start to share my story, I had a stumbling block there because I was like, why can I not finish this? Something is wrong. I don't know why I can't finish it. And you gently prodded me. It's like, okay, are we there yet? And I was like, I don't know. This is like the third time I tried to record it, and I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. And we prayed about it, and then finally it hit me. I was like, I have to do a deep dive and clean house.
Mhm.
And that has to start with the current relationship I am in. It is
Mhm.
beyond toxic. I am an enabler for this relationship, and I had to move out of it. I know we had this discussion. You never came to me and told me, you never came right out and said, this is what you need to do, but it was hinted. And I just like, this is what I need to do. This is my holdup. This is what I need to release my power. I have to move out of this toxic marriage that I'm in so I can start building, so I can really share my story with others, because it was not complete. It was not final. And
Mhm.
that is what I had to do. And I told you that too. I said, I just need some time. So I had to do like a deep dive where I went in, not just in my relationship, but at home, in my work, all of the emails and stuff, subscriptions. Remember, I said I have all these subscriptions
Mhm.
that I don't use. I
Mhm.
had to go in. I
Mhm.
had to start removing all of these things. And you had told me also about all these clubs and groups that I'm in, especially on
Yeah.
Facebook and on social media. I just removed myself from the majority of them. I stopped looking at additional certifications, even though I did do one more, but that's another story. But I did that certification to get me to where I am in my self leadership and self empowerment program.
Mhm.
But I personally, like you told me, it's something that I had to do for myself. This is not something that you can help me with. You opened me up and you put me on the path, but I had to move forward in my time to
Mhm.
realize that in order for me to be powerful, for me to share my story, I have to be clean and I have to be true and honest with myself. And I still was holding on to things that would make me feel powerless. So I did that deep dive, like you said, and I literally cleaned house. And I'm in a better place. I feel that release. I did a breathing practice that
Mhm.
shows me how to breathe and just release and let things go, where I never found that time where I can sit down and say, I'm just going to relax. My
Mhm.
brain would just keep going. There's always something in it. And now I have that time where I just make that time, even if it's just 5 minutes, I just sit quietly. I inhale and I exhale and I let go and let God. And it helps me get my day going. So
Mhm.
it's this journey is absolutely what I needed at the right time that I needed it. Because a lot of times we say, I need to get this done right here and now. But the reason why I'm here right now is because this is where I need to be
Mhm.
right now. And I appreciate your program and for you being not an enabler and not one who prodded me and said, hey, you have to do it now, but you gently pushed me in the direction that I need to go and you let me do it on my time. So this has helped me actually to really exhale and get out all of the toxic, I don't want to say waste, but anywho, toxic waste that I
Mhm.
have accumulated in my life. It's a release now. And I truly have my power. And one of the things that I have learned from you, I've had my power before, but I let it get away from me. So now I have to learn to not just hold on to my power, but I have to learn how to protect my power
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
not just outside sources, but from myself.
Yes.
Because
Because
I am my own destructive self. I have
mhm.
learned that. I have admitted that. And I think that's a lot of the challenges we as women, not just women and men have, where
Yeah.
you're in situations where you know that this is not where you need to be, but
Mhm.
you don't want to admit that this is not where God wants me to be. This is not where God has called me. So we just sit in it and we just make excuses. And that has been my life. I just kept making excuses for the toxic relationships I was in. This is where God wants me to be. He wants me to help this person. I have to do this. Not true. Not true.
Yeah, I mean, it was really an experience with you there when we were looking at that story of yours and the different parts of your life, personally and professionally, where you would not stand up for yourself, where you
No.
would not stand in power, where you'd allow people to just take advantage, or you would enable them, as you put it. And we realized the cut didn't have to happen just from the inside. The cut had to happen in both what you're doing externally in your personal and professional life. And I think that was a big part of your journey in the speaker
Yes.
mentorship program. And us getting to that point also, which we identified initially, was you doing some shaving, some pruning. And I really want to say publicly that I'm really proud of you because you took the advice and you did it in your time. You got rid of all of these subscriptions. And that's something that I didn't even demand only of you. I did it of myself as well. I did it too. I got rid of so many emails, unsubscribed, because these things clutter our lives. And
Yes.
as I was working with you on that, I began to declutter myself, doing that. And I saw how you were able to do that, shave yourself from being in all of these groups and being so overwhelmed with everything and saying, Marlene, you need to just focus on your purpose, focus on what you're meant to do. And everything that you do from now on needs to be what actually helps to push through you shining in your true purpose. All of these extra things, and that's the thing sometimes as women, and maybe it might be because we were deprived for so long of having access to education and having access to top leadership positions and being respected in certain ways. When we actually get the opportunity to do it, we may overdo it because we didn't have it in the first place. And so you were operating in that, like, I must have. It was almost like a gluttonous thing of just having like all of these, and you don't even know what you're going to do with it. And how do all of these certificates enhance me as a woman in my true purpose? And so we were able to do that together. I was able to see you really grow. And when you say to me, okay, I came out of this, I did that, I did this, I did that. Now I'm ready to focus on my purpose. So tell our viewers, what is it God has called you to do? Because you're all about power. Why? Because you, throughout your experiences, your three marriages, the jobs that you had, and everything, you realized that you lacked power. So, what have you been called to do now? What did we come up with? What we discover through your journey and process that you can do right now in your life to be able to stand in your purpose, stand in your power, and really make your impact in the world?
Yeah, because and from my experience, we have learned that I am a self empowerment and self leadership coach, and I can work with not just women, but anyone who feels that the situation that they're currently in, that this is not their last calling. But again, it's something that you have to make that decision. You have to realize, just like I did, that you need help to move from your fear to your power, because this is what is holding us back, our fear to move on. We are fearful that the situation that we're in, if we try to step out of it, nothing good is going to come of it. But that's not who we are
Mhm.
as but children of God. We have to realize that God wants more for us, and
Mhm.
He's given us these opportunities. We're just afraid to step out in faith and
Mhm.
face these fears and
Mhm.
move from our fear to our power. So, this is a program that we work together to develop, me helping you move from your fear to your power.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
and
love
I
that,
love that,
moving from
moving
fear
from
to
fear to
power,
power,
because
because
a lot
a
of
lot of
people,
people.
especially Christian women, I'm specifically could speak for them,
Yeah.
it's this whole idea of church and religion really hovering over us, sometimes preventing us from stepping into that power, and also sometimes keeping us in the fear because we're afraid of being judged, and we're afraid of being, the gossip of the town and the gossip of the church. We're afraid of being the gossip of the pews. And so we stay in these positions because we're afraid to be spoken about. We're afraid to step into our true power because our true power will also offend some people. And
Yes.
sometimes that means even the people closest to us. And you trying to, or you have been called to really help women, to help men, anybody really move from fear to power, because you know what it's like to be powerless or to feel powerless and to be rescued by others. And now you want to be that person to help people really take those steps much quicker than they believe that they would. So you do have that
Absolutely.
fear to power model. So what are you doing right now? And what are your intentions, moving forward with that work? And I know that you launched your website and you did a whole bunch of other things. Let us know, what did you do? Where can people find you? If somebody's listening to you right now, there's a woman out there who's feeling that she does not have any power. She might be just as you were, in a very bad marriage, in a very bad situation, at work, being taken advantage of, and she does not know how to stand in her power, how to rescue herself, because other people maybe have delivered her, as you would have experienced over time, when your mom would come to take you out, when somebody else would come to take you out. What are you doing right now, intentionally and actively, to really do that great work that you're doing in your life?
Well, one of the things that I realize is that I provide a safety net, and I didn't even realize it. I want to be that safety net, that sounding board for women who are ready to move from their fear to their power. And
Mhm.
this is what I provide for you. This is my number one priority. I will be your sounding board. We will work together to get you from the that point that you know that you're in. And I don't want to call it a desperate situation, but at times when you stop and think about it, it really is. So you
Mhm.
can definitely reach me. My website is just like my name, marleengreenleaf.com, all one words. Or you can give me a call. My cell number is 301-332-8485. And you can also email me at Marlene, Marleen, at iwillassistyou.net. Because, and I've kept that email. I know you told me about me,
But it's
being
a good
somebody
one
with
because
empathy.
you
Yes,
assist
because I
people.
love it. I absolutely love it. I don't know why I got that. But no, I do know. It's for me to be here right now because that's what I do. I'm here to serve. I am a servant leader and I'm here to serve. So I will assist you. That is my email address. I will assist you.net. So feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I have a one we can have a one-on-one discovery session where we just do a deep dive to see exactly what's going on with you. I have a few ladies that I'm working with right now, but I'll be more than happy to add you to my list where we can help you to move from your fear to your power. This is not your final destination, ladies. This is not where God has called you to be. You are destined for greatness, and you have to step out in your power so that you can be great, not just for yourself, for the people around you, and for the world, because you were created for a purpose. And we all
Yeah.
need to walk in our power so we can live a life of purpose.
Yeah, I love it. And one of the things I want to touch on, even before we go, because the time goes by so
I
quickly, is
know.
the issue of self leadership. I remember one day I had a conversation with you, and you were working on your, I think it was your proposal for your dissertation. And
Yes.
I asked you a bunch of questions, even though that was not in the coaching program. But I really wanted to know where you were in your academic journey, what you were doing, and because we had spoken so much about your power and getting that power back, standing in your power, living in your power. I don't know. One day, randomly, I asked you some questions, and then
Hmm.
I asked you, why don't you think of focusing on self leadership? And then you had just done something, and it wasn't named that specifically, but we realized that everything was so well timed and aligned by God, because it was at that exact time that you would have to be making some decisions and some shifts. And then we realized, hey, for your academic focus, you can work on self leadership. And what have you been doing with that since the time that we actually spoke about that, and we decided this could be your academic focus, because it's going to support and fuel the work of empowerment that you are doing as you help people to stand in their power. What has it been like for you speaking engagements? Because I mean, you were in the speaker mentorship program. The whole goal is to get you focused on what was my real story, what's my core message, how do I get in front of the right people? What have you been doing then, since
And
then?
it's so amazing that you say that because, in all honesty, all of these speaking engagements that I've had in the past 3 months, I never reached out to anyone. They reached out to me, such as the University of Maryland, which is my alma mater. They found me on LinkedIn and said, "We saw your profile and we have this topic on self leadership and self empowerment, and we would love you to be on the panel." And I
Love.
remember I told you, I said I was nervous, but once I got on there, it was just flowing. Everything just came together and they loved it. They just sent out actually another little shout out saying, "Thank you to Marleen Greenleaf and the panel for this enlightening conversation." I've had another young lady ask me to be part of her it's a book club series that she's doing on self empowerment, and she put me on, and I spoke for I think about 15 minutes. I have another project that I'm working on. It's like people are just reaching out to me, and I am just willing and able. Even with my dissertation topic that we were talking about, I
Yes.
changed it to include not just looking at principles in the District of Columbia for these schools, not just looking at their leadership, but also how self leadership impacts how they serve their community, their campus, and their schools. So I just did it. Actually, my last class I just did. I'm going into statistics now, but I just did my dissertation topic, and they was approved. They said yes, this is a great start, but I've got to do statistics now. So pray for me.
Yes, you'll do fine. We'll pray for you. He who began a good work, he is
Yes,
faithful to complete
yes,
it, girl. Yes,
yes,
I am so
yes.
excited to have worked with you in the speaker mentorship program. What would you say to ladies? Because right now I am getting ready for the first time to actually work with 10 women. I'm doing for the first time the speaker mentorship program in a group setting, 10 women. And what would you say to these women? Even though I work with some one on one, but for these women who are out there who need to tell their story, but they're not sure how to do it yet because there's a lot of work behind the scenes to be done to be in that place of being able to stand in your power and tell your story without caring that you're going to be judged because people are going to talk. We already know that.
Yeah,
They will
absolutely.
find reason. But to really like, you want to share that story, you're not sure how to really position yourself because look now, the engagements are coming. Note well, remember we said that you need to also intentionally seek out your speaking engagements in your
I
community.
will.
They're coming right now, but I know that you're going to get out there. So for these women who need to know, I need to be on the right platform. I need to, but from the work that we did together, you have to know what that story is, what your core message is, who you're reaching, etc., etc. What would you say to that woman who really needs to be telling her story? She knows deep down inside she has been called. I have this group program coming up. I still work with women one on one in the speaker mentorship program. What would you say to that woman right now?
First and foremost, you have to show up with an open mind. You have to show up with the understanding that you are here to work through your challenges. And even if it's in a one-on-one or a group situation, you can't come in with the mindset that this is how I want things to be. Because truth be told, at some point I was like that. You have to come in with an open mind saying, I am here to understand. I am here to get this breakthrough where I can get this clarity that I need. And that is the first step. You have to be open to change. You cannot come in to a program with a mindset of this is how I want things to be. Just like how when we pray to God and we ask God for things, you don't come back and say, God, this is how I want you to handle this. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you come to God humbly and you say, God, here's my situation. Work it out for me, please. How best you see fit. I'm here. I am your servant. I will do as you please, as you tell me. It's the same thing with your speaker mentorship program. You have to be open and you have to listen and be ready for change because it is going to happen. You're not going to leave this program without a different mindset. You're not going to leave the same way you came in. You will be changed. I'm a witness.
You're so funny, but ladies, really and truly, I mean, it was such an honor working with you, Marlene. Just seeing you make little sub to some, it might seem little, but those were massive changes that you were able to do to now reach that place of being able to stand as a self leader, knowing that you're mastering managing you so that now you can do the same and now you can spread that message helping people to get their power back as you take the stage whether in person or virtually. And so for these women out there, I mean, I really, if you're serious and you really want to be able to tell that story, we only have 10 spots. We're starting in April. You need to send me a DM, send me that private message, and
Right
and
now.
yeah, just send that private message so that we can actually get you rolling. And Marlene, I just want to pray continued blessings on you and on your journey. And as you work on your doctoral dissertation and everything, that I look forward to reading the final paper and to seeing you as that master self leader, really spreading your wings all over the world, empowering more women to stand in their power and to really take courage. You are an example of what it is every woman should be when we recognize how powerful we are and we realize that we do not need anything external to validate the calling that we have. And I love the fact that you started by saying that you would not change anything. Yes, you were in powerless situations, personally and professionally, but now the Lord has taken what the enemy meant for evil and
Yes.
now he's using it for good because you are now using your voice to really empower others to get their power
Yeah.
back.
And,
And
and we have to understand that everyone's journey is different. So don't come in saying I want to be like this person. You
yeah,
have come in standing and this is my journey and this is where God wants me to be. It
Amen.
is going to be so powerful if you approach it with that mindset. And I thank
Awesome.
you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you.
Yeah, God, to God be the glory, to God be
Yes,
the glory.
absolutely.
And we just thank you for being with us. Thank you for spending your lunchtime with us. You can see that I was enjoying my sorrel in between.
Have my water.
And we're just happy. We want to see you back here tomorrow at 12 noon EST when we host another guest who worked with me in the speaker mentorship program. And while we worked together in those 3 months, we also worked on her book that she has recently published. You want to be here tomorrow at 12 noon EST. And also look out for Marlene's book. It's going to come out soon.
It's
God bless
coming.
you, ladies, and see you tomorrow.
Take care. Bye now. Thank you.